Alliance dropping their first series and now up against Ooredoo Thunder, who are a team that are looking very difficult to tackle as well. So we've mentioned that Alliance going up against some incredibly difficult teams. If you drop this second series, you have to win the next all 5 in a row, and that is not going to be an easy task at all. We do see the odds. It's favoring Ooredoo just a little bit. esportsbet.io for the odds over there.
Yeah, you never want to put yourself in that stressful position, I guess, is the best way to say it. And, well, the Ooredoo Thunders already are able to take the 3 bounty runes. I mean, this is a great Rubik game as well. Even just prioritize stealing Rupture and you are very, very happy. You think about all of these different cores, right? Even the Mirana to some extent. You Rupture them, what can they do? Tusk needs to chase you, otherwise he does nothing. Bloodseeker, same thing. Death Prophet, same thing. So Omar's going to be set up for a pretty decent game here, and Witter as well. I think this lane is going to go incredibly well for him. Once it ggets late-ish, and you get the Aghanim Shard onto Charlie, it won't be as bad as long as he can get caught inside of that Static Storm, but until then, I feel like this should be all Tidehunter.
I like how you just mentioned the Ag Shard on Charlie. Is this a matchup in regard to the Bloodseeker Deucer that's a little bit different than what it used to be a couple of years ago? Because this pure damage makes a Bloodseeker much better versus these kind of agi carries that have a crap load of armor as the game goes on. Is this something that might switch the matchup than what we kind of expect a while ago?
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make it manageable. It still is this, like, limited timing, though, that you've got, right, against the Medusa. Eventually, it is still going to get to the stage where Deuce is just going to be able to completely control you. So I feel like you just have to make the absolute most out of every little opportunity that you've got to be able to, you know, play around that Maelstrom, BKB, Aghanim Shard, Basher timing, and just go from that point. Never let up. But I still think Deuce needs to be the one that dies last in most of these
engagements. Handskin is in some trouble. The level 2 timing coming out from Ooredoo Thunder, and they pounce on that instantly as Omar finds first blood on the Rubik. And you were just mentioning before that you feel like this is a good Rubik game, and well, to give him the bonus gold and the experience now to get off to that good start could be troubling.
Yeah, did not to use the second Mango as well to get the glimpse off. Maybe keep them away, stop those right clicks with the Gush minus armor from coming through. So it would end up costing him a little bit. They will save the glimpse for this one, though. As Charlie looking to try and get a kill in return, but Omar, very nicely done.
Now, you were kind of just mentioning before that you feel like Alliance need to play around their timings. I know you mentioned what the Maelstrom, BKB shot and Bash from Charlie, but definitely feels like late game you're probably giving the edge to the Medusa. So what lanes need to go right for Alliance to kind of have the early tempo? As top lane actually, Handskin once again getting chased down, but I mean that's a trade that Alliance are more than happy with.
Yeah, I mean, I think this is one of the lanes that I'm probably not expecting to go all that well for Alliance. So the fact that Charlie's been able to get that kill against the Tidehunter, I know it's only 3 minutes in, but he's sitting last in terms of the cores. It's very important for him to not have a great game so that he could just sit in front of towers and use the Anchor Smash to clear it out. Because, like Fluke was mentioning during the draft, DP is basically Alliance's only push in the very early games. So you've got to make sure that that's just easy to claim, and Medusa isn't able to just sit back inside of the jungle and farm easily.
Although, I'll be able to find a solo kill into the clockwork. One more leap if required, and secures the kill. So solo experience for Ponlo as well. Was helped out by S4 early on inside the lane, and it looks like already the Death Prophet off to a pretty good start. 14-4 compared to the 15-2 onto the Medusa. S4 has gone for a lot of stats in this lane, however. Wraithband Wand and plenty of Iron Branches.
I'm liking Ponlo's skill build as well. Not even putting a single point into the Sacred Arrow, realizing that, look, there's not exactly the greatest setup for this, and we're not going to get kills off the back of like 100-0 burst. It's all about just slowly draining out the regen coming through from Ooredoo Thunders, get that extra point into the Starstorm for the reliable damage, because you know Clockwork's always going to be hanging on to the Medusa as much as it can. Kari doing a good job of just keeping away Ponlo, though, to minimize the amount that can happen. See the infused raindrops pick up as well by TA2000, wanting to minimize that impact from both the Starstorm as well as the Crypt Swarm.
What are we expecting out of these two mid laners here, with Chuen on the Tusk and Noob playing the Pengli? What's kind of their early rotations going to look like?
I'd say it's still really important for them to get kills onto the Bloodseeker, right? Because he is the one that's got pretty decent matchups against a few of these heroes. We mentioned the impact of having that Rupture against multiple units on Ooredoo Thunders. It's a big part of the damage as well. So you just got to slow down that timing as much as possible. The one I was talking about, Maelstrom, BKB, Basher Shard. And if it means that he gets that 5 minutes later because you focused him in the early game, then that means Medusa's probably reached another item, and that's not what you want if you're Alliance.
You see Charlie being slowed down a little bit at the moment. The Tide and the Ruby continuing to try and spam out the Bloodseeker. They will get the small camp pull though, so Charlie's trying to play around with some of his life still. But we do have Chuen up to that level 6 as well. Just before Noob needs a couple of creeps to get towards that experience. So looks like both sides, or at least both position 2s I should say, is going to have their ultimates to work with this first power rune. Bottom, Ponlo and Kaori is having a little bit of a brawl. Clock will be able to get some distance with the cogs. Might give them an opportunity though that the Clockwork can't rotate, and Ponlo can look to get involved for this potential rune contestation.
This would be big for Chuen if he's able to pick up the rune. It's a double damage as well. That's actually enormous. You know, if you're able to... I mean, I was really hoping that Ponlo would make a rotation towards mid just with that Walrus Punch Snowball to be able to guarantee the Sacred Arrow afterwards. And Noob, he's actually going to move back, maybe considering checking if the Bounty Rune's available, but Ponlo's done a good job to pick that one up. I was also kind of thinking that maybe he would take this time to make the rotation up towards top with the Rolling Thunder while Bloodseeker doesn't have that Rupture available, so you can almost guarantee a kill. But looks like he's prioritizing bot instead, realizing Medusa is going to be what gives them a good game, but doesn't see the avenue for it, so he's forced to back off.
Yeah, great scan from Dire. Connecting onto Noob. Trying to make his first rotation down to bottom, so Chuen's going to instantly shove this lane out. This will free him up to potentially find a kill, and he might actually run into a Mar, but their scan is also on the mark as well, so they are aware of this toss maneuver. Both sides really on point with their first scans of the game.
Good understanding of what their priority needs to be at this early stage of the game.
Both sides also reading how important stacks are going to be for themselves. Handskin's already gone back and made multiple stacks towards the outpost. Namar has done the same as well with the Ancients, of course. That's where we're going to see the Medusa look to set her home up. Not just yet, though. Still more than capable of being able to play the lane.
Not the greatest heroes that they have on Alliance to be able to take stacks at this stage just yet. Especially if they're able to get some kind of deep vision up to be able to catch them out.
Noob might be in some trouble. Tries to get the Rolling Thunder off. He will actually get some distance away from the arrow, so Noob's okay. Very close to securing the kill. Chuen might be the one that actually ends up going down. They've got Omar to play with. He won't be able to bounce him down to the low ground. Even the Tide Hunter's going to rotate as well. Look at that. 4 heroes from Ooredoo Thunder just to shut down the toss. They recognize how important it is to slow down Chuen's game.
Just unfortunately for Ponlo, a little bit slow on the arrow. Means that might still live here on Handskin if Ponlo looked to continue to commit. He actually tried to get a kill onto Noob instead. But yeah, at least they made the attempt, right? As Omar just TP's away. Ooh, okay.
Dire's top tower is under
But you know, they made the attempt. You contrast that with what we saw in the last series with Team Bald, right? Where they're playing around, well, they had a picked Morana, but they never really made the combinations together with it. They went for it early on, and they probably should have got that kill, but just ends up missing out. S4 could end up popping the Exorcism for this, though. They feel confident to be able to push through.
Oh, TA 2000. Early point up in the Stone Gaze. Let's see if they're going to be able to combat into the Exo. Beautiful shot from Chuen. Actually gets a DP out, but it's not going to matter. First Ravage of the game will clip the Death Prophet on the escape. It's a beautiful individual play from Chuen to try and enable S4 to get out of danger, but it just wasn't enough.
Unfortunate for Alliance not to be able to make the most out of that first Exorcism. Good TP rotation from Wuda, but it does leave Charlie up top on his own. That's why they made the rotation up here with TA 2000, and maybe that gives them the indication to say, all right, no Medusa, maybe we can make something happen around mid, but again, without that Exo, I just don't feel like you're going to make anything too impactful happen.
If anything is going to occur, it's going to be off the back of this Tusk and Mirana playing together, and we see that from Chuen and Ponlo. Particularly Mirana recognizing that, you know, there's no point playing around with anyone else now. Charlie's going to be okay. He can just shove out top, go back to the jungle. Support doesn't need to be with him. Hanskin as well. Who does the Disruptor want to play? We've spoken about kind of Ponlo wanting to be with the Tusk, but is the Disruptor the same, playing around mid?
Yeah.
Okay. We see Noob should be able to pick up the DD. It's going to cost him his ultimate, so Charlie will actually look to TP him. Swashbuckle to get some distance away, but Chuen actually commits to the higher ground. And they'll turn it around onto Kaori as well. Ponlo lines up the arrow. They should have the damage thanks to Chuen's punch, and they're not done just yet. Chuen considering about catching up to Omar. He's got the shard to work with. Not the greatest position, however. Omar will be able to duck on out. They might get some damage in the tower, though. They do have a catapult wave, but looks like they're going to all back off.
Weirdo has the TP available if he needs it, though. He's going to look to park himself in front of that Tier 1 tower bottom for now. I wasn't really expecting the Bloodseeker to turn up to that fight, but it's a good thing he did. You know, great use of the Rupture onto the Rolling Thunder.
Kaori finds the hook shot. Noob's going to have no hesitation of jumping inside as well. With the help of the double damage rune, do they actually have enough to bring S4 down? Spirit Siphon not going to repair the damage. It's a big kill for them to find, but simultaneously top lane, TA2000 has the Stone Gaze to kind of be that deterrent for Alliance to continue to go onto the towers. Look at the damage, though. Chuen's in trouble. They got the Static Storm to lay it down, but Ooredoo TP's in with a mechanism here. I don't think it's... Oh, it's actually enough. Amar stays alive, and in the end, Chuen's the casualty of war.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Another good TP rotation coming through. Ooredoo has had a few times where he could have used his TP just to, again, park himself in front of a lane, but he's showing how important it is to be able to keep that control of the map available to himself. Holds it until the very last second. Even though he gets glimpsed back down towards bottom, his job there was to get an anchor smash and a mechanism off, and ends up with the survival of both of his teammates on the top side and a turnaround kill.
Job well done from Ooredoo, and he's even going to start to make his way mid. Just with the remnants of this exorcism, just in case they need to protect the tower. And, well, instead, they might even get the kill onto the DP. Can they blow up S4 before the Spirit Siphon charges come out? You bet they can. Another death on S4's Death Prophet. 3 deaths now for him.
Say death one more time.
Death?
There we go. Oh, speaking of, like, you know, Ponlo and Chuen and other people from C, death. Good friend of Ponlo's.
See? I can bring up Death.
You got the
somehow bring him in.
references.
Yeah. I didn't mean it, but you know, it's okay. It works out in the end. What about him? What about the boys on Ponlo and Chuen?
Oh, no, just saying, Death, I want to see him back in the sea. You know, we talked about Chuen taking a year off, and yeah, Death is such a mechanically skilled player. We saw him, he was on Fnatic as well, having some pretty good performances for them, but he's just taken a bit of a backseat in recent times. So it'd be great to see him try and make a name for himself once again.
Ooredoo Thunder, they don't want to take a backseat though. Rolling Thunder up in 10 seconds. Top lane is where the prize is going to be. Charlie's there at the moment. Also has that Rupture potentially to mitigate the effectiveness of the Painkiller. If they do use that Rolling Thunder, it's going to be a long wrap around. Dropping a ward just to scout out if any reinforcements
they saw the courier,
move to top. They saw it.
Yeah, they know.
Kaori. Oh, nice sidestep. All right, this might give some time for the TPs to come out. The Moonlight Shadow is going to be able to protect them as well. And instantly Alliance, they're swinging to the top as Noob. Is he going to die? Oh, Jill is able to get that TP out, so the Rupture's not enough, but here come the boys on Alliance. They'll be able to glimpse back one. Kaori will be the sacrifice of the rest of Ooredoo Thunder, just going to look to leave the area.
I'd say you're fairly happy with this still, though, on Ooredoo, right? You force a TP back, I guess, and the Rolling Thunder, but the Clockwork soaks up the majority of it. I suppose they'll get the Tier 1 tower in the mid lane, but again, they're conserving their TPs as much as possible on Ooredoo Thunders, just so that they're able to make rotations for the actual important hero in the Medusa. She is the only one that matters.
Oh my lord, almost gets blown up, but the boys are here to fight. Static Storm in combination with the Exorcism. And they've gotten completely rid of TA2000's mana. Would just get enough back for the Stone Gaze, but the combination of the Ravage as well. But there's just no damage until the Splash Ball comes out from downtown. They'll kill off one, but can they get any more out of this? Alliance is still in fighting shape, as Tidehunter will take a spill, and now Alliance can get some of the stacks.
Oof. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting all that damage to be able to come through and burst through the Tidehunter. It was a good use of the Guardian Greaves, enabling the Deucer to get back to safety with the use of that Stone Gaze. But yeah, the follow-up damage just not there quite yet. Has got the Yasha and the Dragonlance built up, though, going straight into the Skadi. Of course, we know how effective that's going to be against the likes of the Death Prophet. Being a bit of a bully right now, is Trent.
Kind of have to be for a toss, right? It's built into him with the punch. Love this play from Alliance. We haven't seen the greatest usages out of the first couple of Exos, but this one, beautiful from them. Just invading into the jungle. We kind of see the lack of damage that is there from Ooredoo as well.
This hook shot ends up getting yeah, the kill onto the Tidehunter as well, and Noob gives himself a little bit of a maybe we're not quite so ready to fight just yet. I mean, he's going very heavy into the utility style with the Blink Dagger, the Aghanim Shard, and the Shard's definitely going to help against the Bloodseeker, just so that you're not
on mid lane. QM jump in, instant use of the Static Storm as well. Great reveal of the Blink from the mid lane of Alliance. Let's see what more can they get out of this. Potentially just a kill into setting up for this bottom push. They've got the catapult at the ready, and Charlie here as well.
I don't think they should have any issues as long as Pango's dead. Again, where's the damage coming from? You might be able to land a Ravage if it was on cooldown, off cooldown, excuse me, but what then? So they are eventually going to make a TP rotation down here just to stop the tower.
Charlie's alone. Hookshot in. Rubik won't be able to follow up. They cancelled the TP from Amar.
He's moving fast.
So Kaori's actually not going to have enough damage without the Rubik to be able to kill off Charlie. And up, they know he TP'd down. They know he's stuck. And with no tower to protect him, what's the go? Where do I hide? There's no way you can hide. Charlie's just under the cover of the invis. He'll pop out and be rewarded with the kill. Top lane, they're setting up from on the Tidehunter as well.
No Static Storm.
No Static Storm will make it a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, just
They're going to look to TP in an extra member as well. It'll make him work for it, Greaves. There we go, glimpse back. Even Exo committed. But there's the snowball to be able to cancel the TP. And in the end, we'll still go down.
Alright, so Alliance come back into this off the back of a few nice movements. And even Ponlo getting away from another kill attempt from Noob here. Yeah, what I was saying before with the Aghanim Shard on the Pangolier, it's just going to let you avoid the damage coming through from the Rupture for the most part. Back in the day when you used to buy into the Yule Scepter and the like, it made things a little bit better, but that certainly isn't part of the wheelhouse for the Pango ever since that changed to the Chain Stun lockdown.
Do you like that response though? Because eventually Charlie's going to have BKB, and you spoke about the Spirits as well doing a lot of damage inside the Rolling Thunder. So would you have preferred something like a Linken's or even a Lotus Orb?
I think it can come eventually. I just feel like the Aghanim Shard is going to give you value right now. You know, it's going to be good against the Disruptor Glimpse as well, for example. It's going to stop you from having a Tusk snowballing in onto you. Granted, that's probably not the way that Chuen's going to be starting a lot of these encounters, considering he's got the Blink Dagger available, but, you know, it just gives you a few more options, you know?
What a game that Chuen's having as well. Not the greatest KDA. I mean, he's been involved in 10 out of the 12 kills, but the fact that he's keeping up in net worth is really the important thing here for the Tusk. Working on the BKB, has one component. He's going to try and get a little bit of damage into Noob. Saw that he used the Swashbuckle prior, so might be forced to Rolling Thunder away. Alliance is starting to make their way down to bottom, but the Glimpse will be too late to stop Rolling Thunder, so that's put on cooldown at least. Top lane, Kaori. So Silence a little bit too late from S4 to stop the cogs, but it will not matter as Amar is not in range for the telekinesis as well. With all this going on though, you are still making space for Medusa. That is probably the main thing here from Ooredoo.
Already picking up one ultimate orb. I believe that's the Manta recipe coming out as well. Nice, nice. So good way to be able to get rid of the silence, for example, coming through from the DP. Just going to provide so much of that ghost push as well. Just throw it out into the lane, force someone to have to come back, and look at that. Specialist's array getting picked up as well by the Deuce. Doesn't want it though. Just holding on to the Van Brace for now.
Being 20 minutes in.
Podlo's quick
Yeah, I
buy.
saw
He's
that.
going into
Crimson.
the Crimson Guard. A little confused about it, if I'm being perfectly honest. I mean, it's decent against the Medusa and it's decent against the Pango, but I'm thinking that he could have gotten away with a little bit more damage, perhaps, or even just a Greaves of his own. Wouldn't be horrible.
Moonlight Shadow, but Ooredoo, they were able to scout this out. They are well aware of the shenanigans that's going on from Alliance, but Carrier's going to miss out on the hook shot, so a potential opportunity there for Ooredoo to be able to penalize Alliance, and now they're actually even going to make their own smoke play. Charlie just completed the BKB, so they are in fighting shape. A successful team fight will net them Roshan if Alliance are able to take it. It's just a question of how to get the jump. That's the one thing they're waiting for. Potentially Hanskin's going to be the one to start. Static Storm lay it down, but the defensive telekinesis will drag him out. They'll still bring him to the middle. TR2000 dodged it. The Manta dodge was on point, and our Alliance wasted so much. Exo down, BKB down as well, but it doesn't come at zero cost from Ooredoo. It wasn't even a Ravage committed from them, so both sides utilizing spells to no effectiveness.
I'd say you're much happier though on Ooredoo, right? A couple of great plays. It's the power of the Rubik with that telekinesis lift. Just means that you're able to get out of dodge so easily with pretty low commitment coming through with this four-man smoke. Ponlo putting himself in a good position on the front lines. It's definitely not the one that they want to catch out. They've dodged him entirely.
S4 is the one. S4 is the one, but again, another hook shot off the mark. Smoke pop, S4 had enough time to be able to react to that, but let's see if they want to continue with the push. Even though they don't get a pick off from Ooredoo, do they feel strong enough to brute force down this tier 1 tower? Maybe they'll go for the Rolling Thunder instead, as Noom is going to jump on top of the Death Prophet, playing near the cliff to hope it gets the bounce on the high ground. It will, in fact, but the telekinesis dragged him straight back down into the Lion's Den. As S4 will go down, Alliance trying to TP the members in, but they recognize now without the Death Prophet, they will not be able to protect the tier 1 tower.
They even TP Charlie in for that one. He wanted to get the Rupture in onto the Pango as he was rolling through. Maybe look to turn that one around with the DP, but of course, just a little bit too late, and double damage up towards the top side as well. Tier 2000, not really in a position to be able to pick it up, but we will happily claim it for his team. This really just feels like they're stalling things out, right?
Are they gonna... They can't kill this, man. T2000, still the static stop before the Storm Gaze, but as soon as they see the members of Ooredoo start to move top, Alliance have to cut this attempt short. Great ward from Ooredoo on the cliff, was able to scout that one out so Radiant could react fast enough, and now they can look to invade the jungle. Stalling out the economy game from Alliance, getting more farm into tier 2000 as well. In fact, they're considering Roche. They have a decent way to bring it down. 3 points to the lucky shot. You've got the Gush as well up to level 2.
Cowrie sitting on the front lines. Arrow going to miss everything, but gives them valuable information, as really wouldn't be surprised to see them go for another smoke together as 5 as they do. They want to get that wrap around. They want to find the Rubik first. Omar is priority number 1. His telekinesis saves have been fantastic.
I think it was under a ward. It looks like Ooredoo are well aware of this. This doesn't seem like a high ground you can brute force down. Alliance are aware of this. They're going to look to back up. Chuen, does he see an opening? Tier 2000's going to reel himself. They'll start with the Exo. Is this really the man you want to try and start on? And the telekinesis gets him out of danger. They could turn to Roche down with the Clockwork Dead, but they want more kills. Alliance looking for the opening. Not an easy man at all. They're going to be cautious how deep they go inside their territory. They'll glimpse back Wudo. Well, that's the person they can blow up. Static Storm preventing any turnaround. And now Alliance, they did waste a decent chunk to the Exo, so I don't think they can take Roshan off the back of that.
Yeah, I don't think so either. It's even the Rocket's going to reveal all the information that they could possibly want as they go for a smoke of their own. Realizing that they've expended quite an amount as S4 greedy.
That he is indeed. No way they can keep him alive. Beautiful chain control. S4 will make him work for it in the end, but the Spirit Siphon, yeah, not enough. So like you said, getting a little bit too greedy, looking to shove out that mid lane. So not the worst trade. from that kind of back-to-back skirmish.
What do we got here now on ye old Bloodseeker? BKB, Maelstrom, but not much else after that. Still a little bit of time until he's going to get into his next item. Courier just holding the TP scroll for now as he gets found out.
Might have to force the BKB in. Yeah, Charlie's going to look to turn.
Happy enough to
oh, they saw the rupture. Uh-oh. Is the BKB enough to cover his TP? Looks like it is. More Chuen? Isn't a noob. I don't know if the Tusk has got enough. Shard's going to protect him. Chuen can still continue to chase, but lacking the mana to snowball on forward.
He's still having a great game on this Tusk, though. Got it. Sitting second on net worth, despite not getting a bunch of kills for himself. I suppose that's the one thing that Alliance could have potentially done differently. We saw it happen a couple of times, the Disruptor Mirana Tusk combination, and excuse me, speaking of Disruptor, Hanskin about to fall here. Another man to dodge coming through from TA2000 as he gets the tip from his teammate. And then he'll just look to potentially push into this mid tier 2. At least forcing the glyph out. It's a siege creep, so or they just go Roche. Yeah, why not? Take
Roche is a call.
There's the gush, there's the lucky shot. There's the stacked as hell Medusa.
And the Skadi timing is going to be really scary. A great way to be able to mitigate some of the sustain that can come through the Death Prophet. Able to maybe cut Charlie as well through that BKB. He's able to get the right clicks out, which should do ease. Pombo gonna go for this.
Of course.
Pombo's gonna try. Does he time it though? Telekinesis will stop him in the end. It was a nice attempt. Unfortunately, not enough. Tier 2000 now has that Aegis to work with, and well, they're not gonna stop just yet. Ooredoo Thunder, a smoke with this Aegis. They got a great ward around Alliance's triangle that is scouting out Chuen on the Tusk. So he's got the BKB to help out with carry without the hookshot to start, so it's not going to be an easy way to find this initiation.
Omar still holding on to the Aetherlands recipe. Could disassemble at any time. Might have wanted it to get just one more. Oh, what a play!
What?
What?
Oh man, what was that? Beautifully done. Chuen ruptured up, so no way he can escape off the back of the haste. I'm quite impressed. Beautifully done from Omar.
I mean, it's the hero that they've picked the most during the past couple of months, and they let it through. They picked it up with the first pick. Why not? You know, like if it's a comfort hero, we've seen the strength of it already against the Disruptor, just being able to lift out of that kinetic field. Multiple kills claimed as a result of it too. Great player-hero combination. Oh, that's good.
Oh, the kill is going to be picked up. Hanskin will go down. They're already setting up on top lane as well as S4's in trouble. There's two members poking, prodding, but no one else is going to look to join. Trying to send S4 back. We're getting to the stages now. Alliance had a little bit of a net worth lead, but it's been cut all the way down to, in fact, Ooredoo having the gold advantage. And are we starting to get a little bit worried with how much farm Medusa has? She's got 5k gold over Charlie's Bloodseeker.
I'm starting to get a lot worried, not just a little.
A lot worried, not a little? Oh, no.
Yeah, I mean, this is the peak Medusa, right? Like, you've reached this timing, you've got the Shadowblade finished up, getting close towards the Silver Edge, level 18 as well. Almost solo taking this tier 2 tower down on the bottom side. And what I liked best, I just saw the little plays that they were making with the rest of the team, right? He was just blatantly hitting the tower, all while they were distracting away. Oh, who have they found?
Chuen. Put the Tusk out in the tree line. Try and BKB TP out. Looks like he will be able to make it in the end, but that's a BKB forced him. Should mean that this tower is going to go down for free.
Going into that Lincoln Sphere now as well on Noob's Pango. Makes a lot of sense. Just wanting to provide a little bit of that utility for himself. Nothing really to be able to break it. Just the Pango for now. If he does eventually go into the Abyssal Blade, I suppose you can have a couple of things to be able to go through it, but requires a pretty heavy commitment and time that you do not have when you're going up against this Dusa.
I want to speak a little bit about the item build from Chuen. He's got this Desolator out in AC next. Would you have preferred something like a Scepter? Because we're getting to a stage where Dusa is she's out of control, and it doesn't seem like it's going to get any easier. Is it some play? Would you kick the Dusa out of the fight? That's the thing. Like, she's going to be in the middle. Do you kick her out? look to bring one person down and then reset when the Deucer comes back in? Like, is that something you're considering? Because they are looking to deal with her. Like, a halberd is being worked on from Charlie.
Yeah, I mean,
is there other items you would hope for?
I think it's a viable option for sure, but that might just not be the way that Alliance see themselves being able to take this, right? Maybe it's like, well, if we've got the Desolator, we can kill the Tidehunter while he's caught inside of the kinetic field static storm, right? If we don't have it, we don't have the damage.
Did you run up the higher ground? Pommel and Handskin hand in hand. S4 again commits the extra really early on, and now it feels horrible if you don't force a team fight. Where's the telekinesis to protect the Tidehunter? Pipe and Greaves activated. They've just ran straight into TA2000's double damage. And with that, 2 members will fall with ease, and now they can look to go high ground.
I think they might have just thought they had more damage than they did. I mean, once again, Omar receiving the tips from his team, and very importantly so, the amount of times that he's been able to use that telekinesis lift to get his boys back to safety has just been phenomenal. Again, maybe just a little premature. You have the Desolator, you get that kill onto the Tidehunter. You can use the Ravage, man.
Yeah. The fact that he didn't even need to use the Ravage is just the scary thing. That this Disruptor answer is just not there when you pick a hero like the Rubik.
He does have the Ags though. So, but again, Omar's positioning has just been really good. He's never in a position where both of them are being hit by that that static storm.
So they're gonna look to try and smoke out.
Oh, okay.
Maybe this Scepter can catch them off guard. Ages expire. They're going to make the attempt on TA2000. There's the Static Storm, but the Telekinesis gets him out of danger. Charlie's going to try and make the attempt, but the Ravage will cover the Medusa. So they turn it back onto the Bloodseeker. Another rest of Alliance are in shambles. Noob will catch up to the Handskin on the backline. The damage will come through from the Tidehunter. And now S4 is the next on the chopping block as well. There's going to be no escape for S4's Death Prophet. As again, 0 members go down on Ooredoo, and Noob's already looking for more. Deep inside the base they go, attempting onto Ponlo. But they'll go back to get the barracks instead.
I'd say very happy to be able to claim that one. You've got it pushing in, let the creeps do the last bit of damage, and just look to get that second lane for yourself. It really feels like just their initiation target is never the right one, whether that be off of some really solid positioning of the supports from Ooredoo, but also Rubik's just free to do whatever he wants in every single team fight, it seems. That time around, he saved TA2000 out of an Ag Static Storm, and I mean, if you're going to commit a Disruptor into buying that instead of any utility, it's got to land.
Someone has to go on the Rubik. It really feels like this game, it's only Chuen. There is no one else. If there is not an opportunity for you to jump the Rubik and Static Storm someone else in the fight, it's not going to go well.
No. And now he's got the Desolator, so when he makes that jump, maybe he gets the kill, right? Rubik, not the tankiest hero. Like, he's got basically all utility, 0 stats outside of a fluffy hat and a magic wand. So, there's certainly the possibility.
And sorry to lose one member and potentially more. Chuen, can you really jump into the middle of this? Noob's got the follow-up. Chuen will protect himself under the cover of the BKB, but Ooredoo Thunder in hot pursuit. Lacking detection, so they'll look to back off. Just double back to the high ground. A lot was forced out from Alliance.
But again, like, you've got Ravage in 15 seconds. They've used BKB Exorcism. They've used BKB on the Tusk as well. I feel like you're incredibly happy with this. Just take away the outpost, maybe push in the top lane. Secure yourself the game if you win another team fight. He's nearly got a Satanic on the Medusa as well.
Top tower is under attack.
Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much at the stage where good luck killing her. Good luck at all. Tier 2000, level 21. Has that Stone Gaze duration as well, which is the important thing. It means that the Bloodseeker almost has his basher completed, but you just can't stand your ground and man fight do so. There's going to be 8 seconds of pretty much invulnerability for TA2000.
Really feels like his item progression is stalled completely on this Bloodseeker, doesn't it? You know, ever since that Mjolnir. He's got the Aghanim Shard, which helps a little bit, but I really feel like the Mjolnir wasn't necessary. Just having a little bit of that extra lockdown from the Basher could have done wonders for Charlie. He's got it now. Got Exer in another minute, so right now S4 trying to bring the attention down towards the bottom side of the map, but doesn't want to commit immediately under the tower, considering he's still 300 gold away from that buyback. Extra couple of seconds on the static storm duration at level 15, so Hanskin will be happy about that. It's still all about fighting Omar, man.
Yeah. You've got no vision to be able to potentially see the Rubik. No one really to gain that information as well. So your supports are poor, but maybe you're going to have to try and save up for something like a gem or hope you take it. I don't know if you're going to kill the Tide Hunter though, so might not be an option. You somehow need to be able to take a fight where you have this vision advantage to see the Rubik and see how they can make this smoke work. Charlie on the front. Actually going to run the opposite direction here. Again, the high ground where they lost the fight prior. Charlie smokes for the pop, so tier 2000 goes under the cover of the Shadow Blade. They actually want to look to get the jump. Nuke to start. Tier 2000 with all the damage they would need. And then Alliance like, what do we do? We tried to smoke into him, but with the Bloodseeker gone, we've got no damage, so we need to back up. They won't lose any other members, but they might lose the base or even more Roshan because there's a DD in front of it.
Yeah, that was very odd from Charlie. He just walked up where it's a pretty obvious spot for it to be warded, right? So he just felt like kind of giving himself up to the wolves. I appreciate them wanting to try and get that surprise pick, but you know, a direct line walking up onto the high ground probably isn't the best way to do it. He's reached up onto his own level 18, so a little bit of extra damage from the Walrus Punch will help matters. But again, Deuce's just getting bigger and bigger. Just picking up this Aegis, Aghanim Shard for the Deucer as well. Why not? You know, just a little bit of extra magic coming back, sorry, mana coming back from the Cold-Blooded.
And they didn't want the tendies. How disappointing.
No tendies. Mummy?
What the hell? Dude, no way. Oh god, get me out. A co-caster saying, Mommy, jump in? Oh no, S4, not long for this world. Just look how much damage they've got. DD activated. He's even going to force himself further into the middle. A buyback is there out of S4, but what do? You let the Deucer get way too farmed, and now this is the result.
And now TA2000 just puts himself on the front lines, right? Like, you got to get through this DD Medusa with Blood Rage stolen, by the way. So he's got even more attack speed. Look at that. Big.
The potential megas on the cards here. Alliance need to do something. Barracks are falling fast, and there's no response.
I'm not sure what they're waiting for, to be honest.
You don't have a lineup that can deal with megas as well. It's just going to be a slow bleed. They're not even going to lead the base. Why would they? Age is still for 3 minutes 30. Gonna jump the heroes behind the Medusa, and they're going to make the attempt. Onto the Bingley, a pretty decent start, but there's just no damage. Charlie hasn't been able to enter. They've killed off Noob. He's going to look to buy back. They get anything more out of this in one Alliance. S4 in the middle of the fight. Pomlo's going to look to follow up as well. Where the boys are helping S4, just no one's to be seen. S4 completely by himself. He wants some help, he wants some assistance, but he's not going to fight it. Now Charlie will look to walk in, but the control is just there for Noob, and the rabbit for good measure. What an ultimate from Tide Hunter to cut the heads of Alliance for the final time this game. Buybacks are there, but there's just nothing they can do. TA2000 still hasn't gone down the once. It's farming time. No fountain will stop them as TA2000 rewarded with a rampage, and what a way to close out game one from Ooredoo Thunder.
Damn, I wanted to give the MVP over to the Rubik, but it's pretty hard to pass it over from before.